Hello, I'm Troy Colmer, and welcome to the Health Rebellion. A brand new name for a brand new day. And I got a new haircut, Pia.
Ah, fabulous. I was going to say it
We've
looks
got our
like
resident guest back, Pia.
Hmm?
Yeah, so we've had a whole new change of idea. Because what we're trying to do is raise the vibration of the planet, and which we need to rebel against what's happening at the moment. So I thought, well, this is the rebellion, the health rebellion. So we're rebelling against the sick care system. Uh, we're embracing the alternate uh, wellness, I suppose. That's what we're embracing. The stuff that's been around for thousands of years, we're bringing that back. The stuff that works and actually makes people healthy. I went to my wife Kerry actually and Lisa. They just ran a health retreat on the weekend, their very first one, and so I was up there.
oh,
Yeah. Oh, I went. Oh, yeah, they did such a good job, and so I went up there and did my little spiel up there. Yeah, I wasn't there long; I was only there an hour and a half, but I was a bit of a male energy and a female role, you know. Yeah, it was all females and me, so it was sort of like, it was. But
you're okay.
I did my best. Yeah, but then I just thought, well, oh yeah, I had to change what the way that we were. Um, I just had a epiphany to
Oh,
change the way that we're being what we're doing. So what do you think about that, Per? What do you think about the new name?
I like it. I like it. I'm still processing it. As you know, I was just saying. I loved the Freedom Network, but I think when you said you were going to change it, it brought up for me that it was probably a good idea because the freedom movement today, I think, is a little bit different. It's all part and parcel of the same umbrella, I think. But when we have the freedom fighters on the streets, and particularly down here and still in Victoria, sorry, use your words, down here in Victoria,
Don't start mum,
I
PR. I don't want
know.
to drag you down like me. You start mumbling. You're the
when we
smart one
have
here, remember?
when we have like living in Victoria and having gone through everything in Melbourne, like there is a connotation to the word freedom now that I think is a bit similar, a different focus, Troy, than what you're doing.
Yeah.
So it made perfect sense when you said you wanted to change it for me, because of that.
Yeah, and I
That
sort of wasn't really representing what I'm trying to do. So I'm trying to obviously raise the vibration of the planet. That sounds like a big thing, but we only need like 1% of the globe to get in the best shape of their life, both, body and mind, and to raise their own vibration. And that would just change, that 1% would change the other 99%'s vibration. So we don't need a lot.
Do you think I'm just trying to shift perspective on that because I do like that, and that's how you say it. What if to me that kind of signifies, so how I see it is that the planet and all of the beings on it um are already high vibrational beings. We're already high frequency beings, but
Yeah.
it's squashed and squashed and squashed and squashed. So we don't really need to try and raise anything. We just need to eliminate what's not allowing us
Yeah.
to be the truth of who we are,
Yeah.
right? And I think that's what the name represents to me, like in so many different things with health and, like as you say, that the sick, what do you call it,
The
the
sick
sick,
care system.
I love that. And and everything. So it's like when all of the stuff is removed, um who we are just naturally bubbles over. We don't even need to try to do anything.
Well, that's it. Like every single person that I work with, like a one-on-one thing, like as soon as they get rid of a bit of the bad energy, it's just like they're a different person,
It's just
and
light,
and they,
like
and they haven't changed a single thing. They're still the same person. Everything's still the same. It's just some energy's been removed.
yeah. Yep, exactly. And it's that programming or those filters that we
Yeah.
spoke about last week. Like we're programmed and programmed and programmed. And somebody was even trying to put that on me today. And it's like, well, when after menopause, Pia, like the muscles go and the bones, and you got to worry about your bone density. And I'm like, aging's just a programming, man. Don't put that on me. I'm like, talk to the hand.
Yeah.
Like, but we need to start thinking globally and I'm not talking about planetarily, I'm talking about globally across various topics, where if you be programmed in one thing, then it's broad, like where you are in one area, if you are in another. So if you clean out, 1% of the heaviness of the programming of the trauma or whatever you want to use in one area, it blankets, it gets cleaned out everywhere in your life. And then you just start bubbling up.
You can't help
And
it but bubble up.
exactly. Then you reach a tipping point where now you're trying to shove the balloon down in the water. You're like, no, I'm not going to rise up. No, I'm not going to rise up. But you can, and you will, because that's who we naturally are.
Yeah,
That's our birthright. That's who we are. That's who we came to be. And especially after the last few years, really seeing, whether you're looking at the chemtrails, whether you're looking at the vaccine, whether you're looking at whatever it is you're looking at, just how compressed, how oppressed we are and have been. And it's just time for us to rise up. And I think it is effortless when you remove. And that's how I see your journey, Troy. And correct me if I'm wrong or put your slant on it. Is like, let's get this shit out of the way. Let's rebel against what they've told us. Let's rebel against the health information that they've given us. Let's rebel against all of that and go, I'm just going to be me and I'm doing this.
Yeah, be a human that we're meant to be.
Yeah.
But we have got the most unbelievable power ever as a human being.
100%.
And we've just, from when we're born, we're bashed out of us. Sit down, be quiet, don't move, do this, do that.
We learn
and so that's what we want to get back to. If you look at the whole system as a whole, right? So we've got suicides at the highest rate ever. We've got this people the sickest they've ever been. We've got obesity at the highest rate ever. We've got divorce rates at the highest rate ever. Like, something's got to change at some stage, somewhere. Like, unless we do something, well, we can't just keep going down that same road. Otherwise, what will be the point? We may as well just end the whole thing.
Yeah, it's pretty dysfunctional, isn't it?
Yeah, but, as soon as someone realizes that they have this power, it's just like, when you know yourself, like when you work with someone and their energy, like it's so fast and their energy changes overnight and they're a different person. Like it's so, like you don't have to do a lot. This is what I keep saying to people. You don't have to do a lot. It's not as if we have to get out and we have to do 3 or 4 hours exercise each day and we've got to eat celery sticks and we've got to, whatever it is, all these other things that we're told that we have to do if we want to change. No, we don't have to do all that. Yeah. We can still keep doing pretty well the same things you're always doing, more or less, but just change your mindset on the thing and get rid of a few energy blockages. Stop watching the mainstream telly, and your life can just improve out of sight. Yeah. And then the other thing, which is really good to do too, is to help somebody else. Like once you get good, once you become well, like help someone else.
Well, then it starts going exponentially, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Because the world is going to mirror back to you what you're giving out. It always has. So if you're giving out that level of positivity or that level of high frequency, then it's going to come back to you. That level of abundance, whatever you're giving out, is going to come back.
Yes, because we're all one. This is the whole thing. Like we're all joined together through energy.
Yeah.
And so that this is why that remote healing and all these things work, because we're all one. We're all just one energy. We're all a part of the one.
Yeah, we're in a system. And I think, going back to the choice, because it's a choice to let go and it's a choice to hang on, right, to trauma or whatever. But people don't see it that way. And it's not anybody's fault. It's there's been a system in place. And I'm the daughter of a psychologist, so I know it firsthand, right?
Just saying.
Just saying that, the number of times I had to tell my story, right? And the more you tell your story, the more stuck in trauma you are. That's what you're talking. The energy gets trapped in time and space, and you're not living in the moment. And from that system, it's like, it takes years to get over these things. And from the system of AA and NA and things like that, and fantastic systems. And I'm not beating that. And I know people that it saved their lives and stuff. And I won't say that, but you don't need to identify with that once you let it go. And as you're saying, Troy, you can let it go that fast, but we are led to believe it's years and lifetimes to clear this stuff, and it
Yeah.
doesn't.
Well, the simple reason is because it's a multi-trillion-dollar system.
Really.
Yeah. That's
Simply.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's the reason. That's the reason why we've told that it's going to take this long to do something. Because if
There's
they
no
come
money
in,
in health, man. There's no money in healthcare.
no, there's
Money
zero.
in managing sickness and making, yeah, there's no money in healthy population.
Yeah, well, you only got to look at us. How often do we go to the doctors? Never. You know,
Yeah.
I'm flat out going to the well, I go once a year to go and get all my blood work done. And that's the other thing. Oh God, geez, I get rolled, I tell you.
Oh, I know. It's a lot of money.
So I go there, right, to see me sick care professional to get my blood work done to see, because I like the car, need a service to make
Mhm.
sure that everything's right. And so I've got it all done. I've done all the blood. I've paid for it, paid for the service. That's good. Everything's good, and he did his job. And then so I rang up for no Thursday. I rang up because I was meant to ring back Friday, and I was supposed to ring today. I haven't yet. But so I ring up to get my results. I said, "Oh, can you please email out my results?" No, we can't do that. What do you mean? Oh no, we need to get the doctor's permission. I said, what do you what they're my I paid for it. It's mine. It's my
100%.
results. Me, Troy Colmer, me.
Yeah.
No. You'll have to ring back tomorrow and speak to the doctor. I said, what is that? So is that another another clip? You know? Oh God, it's annoying. So now, and then I was meant to ring on, I've totally forgot, so I'll have to do that today. But so now I've got to for him to call me and say to be able to release my results, you know?
Ridiculous, because as you said, you have paid for them.
Yeah.
They're bought and paid for,
Yeah.
right? Like you don't pay for tests to not get results. That's just weird.
Oh God, the sick care profession, let me tell you.
Yeah.
But in saying that, you do need them. Like you do need them for certain things. If when things aren't, you got some sort of problem. But it would be good if they could use all the alternate stuff instead of just chucking it on a tablet.
Well, sadly, Troy, that statement that you just made is true. I think that if we were in our power, we wouldn't, unless we broke a bone or something like that. But but for a population not living in their power and being bombarded with a whole lot of stuff that is toxic and poison, then we do need them. And it's weird because if we didn't have the toxin and poison which feeds the system, then we wouldn't need them, because the body is such a miracle and knows how to heal itself when you put it in the right environment.
Yeah.
Right? Like you don't like it's what you say with plants. Like if a plant's not surviving, you don't say, oh, let's just leave the plant like it's broken. You just put it in a different environment and it starts to thrive. And we are, all of us, living in, unfortunately, a subpar environment for all of
Yeah.
them.
But luckily in Australia, we're a lot better
I
than a lot of other countries.
don't know. Australia's the most fluoridated country in the world.
Oh, are we?
Yeah.
Oh, right. Well, there you go.
Yeah.
Oh, that's for your teeth. Do you remember you remember the ads that they used to run? God, what was her? Oh, you wouldn't have been in Australia then.
Yeah.
The fluoride does get in, and they used to have a white chalk, and they'd drop it into some blue dye, and then the blue dye would go around the outside of the chalk, and then they'd break the chalk in half, and then it'd show like how far the blue.
We did have that.
Did you have it too?
Yeah, that was when they were putting fluoride in all that when you go to the dentist and to show that the fluoride on the teeth was good.
Yeah, well, they used to run ads with it all the time.
Yeah, I
See, the
remember that.
fluoride does get in. Oh, gee, what was her name?
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember. And because the government cares so much about your teeth, look how much your because we've got Medicare, like how much your Medicare covers for dental. Zero.
Mm-hmm.
Zero. So,
Mm-hmm.
I don't think they care about our teeth that much. But
No, there's not a lot of care in Medicare.
yeah.
We're
But
sounding a little cynical today, Troy. We're
pardon?
sounding a little bit down
Yeah,
on the
no, it's the
down on the
rebellion.
sick care system. But
The
I guess it's just about creating awareness.
yeah, no.
Like I don't do my bloods. That it would probably be a good idea. I know somebody that just did all of hers and she got rolled for, I don't even like a lot of money. And then same thing, right? Then they want to just give you stuff, which is getting rolled for more money. And then you got to wonder what measuring sticks they're using because they change. Like
Yeah.
the averages change
Yeah.
as the population gets unhealthier.
Mm.
Same with gene sizes change. I don't know if you've noticed, but as the
Oh, well,
population gets
Peter,
heavier.
it may not be the genes, Peter.
but but I don't know where I was going with that.
Oh,
But
did I
yeah,
say that out loud?
you did. Thanks. The gene sizes have changed.
Yeah, I say that too.
No one
Yeah.
is a size zero. I'm sorry, it just shouldn't exist.
Oh, zero.
Yeah.
Oh, right. No, I didn't know. No, our men's don't change. Our sizing's been the same ever since I've been a kid.
Oh, really? No,
Yeah.
women's genes changed. I think it might be more of a North American thing.
Yeah, right. Yeah. No, well, I don't know ladies, but I know the men's is, we're still the same as when I was young.
Yeah.
Nothing. Yeah, the men's is because men don't care. Generally, I think the new men might because they're getting a bit,
The new ones.
they're getting a bit out of your father, but
The new ones.
they're not like the men of old, that's for sure.
Yeah. But yeah, so
Um,
the
but they
measuring
can't work
stick.
out if they're men because you got to
Yeah,
you got to be a, what is it, a he him or something, he him her, or
that's a whole other conversation.
we don't even want to go down that road.
Wait, what?
But
Actually, just to touch on that without going down the road, though. But that's exactly what I'm talking about with identity, right? So, like I was saying with my friend trying to push the programming of aging on me, and I put that all under that category of programming that we talked about before, because when you identify with something so strongly that it takes over your humanness, like
yeah,
this is part of the health thing for me, right? So men for a long time would die a couple of years into retirement because they lost their identity as their doctor or their profession or their whatever their
yeah,
identity was.
yeah,
And so their purpose was gone because they identified more as the profession than as the person. And I think that that's with this whole, gender agenda, right? That's part of it too. When you identify so much as one thing, whatever that thing may be, cats and whatever, then it
a furry. I think they call them furries or something.
then it again, it blocks that energy
Yeah,
and it stops being fluid and it takes over the living your life in possibility, because now you're X and you can't get out away from being X, right? Does that make sense?
yeah. Well, that would be the same as religion or anything, really. But
I
even coming down to voting, like because I was always brought up in liberal as a liberal voter because granddad was worked for himself his whole life, more or less. And so if you worked for yourself, you vote liberal. And if you're a slave driver, you're a slave to the system, you vote Labor, because but if you're on the other side of the slaves, you're liberal. And so and dad always vote liberal because granddad voted liberal and then I voted liberal. And I've actually even tried to think about voting Labor, even though I don't like either side. Like I don't know if I could vote the other side. Like it would be
because you're a liberal.
because I'm a liberal. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I can understand it. So I can
Same wing of
understand
different
that.
wings of the same bird, man. But yeah.
Yeah, it's a program. Like I've 100% I've been programmed that way.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, and I was only thinking about it the other week. And I was just thinking like, and it's something really big would have to happen for me to be able to vote the other side. But I'd rather vote for none of them. But anyway, that's
Yeah.
it doesn't really matter which side to vote for. The agenda's the exact same. Nothing ever changes.
All that kind of stuff. But that's an interesting point, right? Because it's the same, like I say, why somebody would still be wearing a mask or why somebody does anything, right? Why do you vote liberal? It's like, well, I don't know. Like if somebody would have asked you based on what you just said, you say, well, my family's always voted liberal, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Nothing to do with politics and
No,
policy and
no,
anything.
nothing.
Right? So I've actually been curious. I want to go up to somebody, I would never do it, but that curiosity of like, why are you wearing a mask? And I don't think they would know.
Mm.
It's so like the programming, the hypnosis, that fear that they're in. I was just like, I don't think they know. And I think that we don't know. We are on automatic in so many areas of our life that we don't know. And one of the things, Troy, you're talking about, changing a program, like doing trauma work, which, I've done and stuff. But there's another way to break programs, and that's just to break pattern.
Yeah.
You get out of bed in the morning on the left side, get out on the right side. You have coffee in the morning, have tea. You go to this gas station, go to that gas station, do something that is an expression to the universe or the construct or whatever you want to call where we live. Like do something that makes it wake up and go, oh, this person's doing something different today, which means we have to deliver something different today.
Yeah.
Right? Because we're creatures of habit. And we don't know why we do what we do. We just do it. So do it consciously, do it differently. And that too will delete programming, will delete pattern.
Yeah. And I think that's, yeah, I think you're very right there because you start the day off and you do everything the exact same. So then the day has to unfold the exact same because you're already putting that out into your programming, that into your future.
That you're expecting it to be like yesterday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but it's
like,
tough, isn't it?
What's that expression? I don't even know, Einstein or whatever. Like insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But we think it has to be the big things. And it really doesn't have to be the big things.
Yeah.
Like if the only thing different you can do in the morning is brush your teeth with the left hand instead of your right hand, and that's the only thing that you can come up with to do different, and do that because it's different. And then the bigger things will come. Right? Just get out of that pattern, any pattern. Right? And the universe, whatever. I don't know what language to use on your show. So,
no, I use the universe because I love the universe.
I call it a construct, right? It's just like whatever.
I love it. I love it.
Then it's going to have to pay attention because it's half asleep. Like if you're half asleep and going on automatic in your life, then your co-creator, that is the universe, is going to be fine to be half asleep too. But you do something different. You wake up and you do something different. It's going to go, whoa, we're doing something different.
And that's just dawned on me too that you're saying that. It's because if you think about it, that you hop out of bed and you do the get up the same time, do all the exact, like you said, all the exact same things. So the day has to work out the same. Mm-hmm. Like it has to. Mm-hmm. It can't not, can it? Because you're that's the seed. So the apple seed must turn into the apple tree. Has to.
Yeah. And if you look at it from a program, sorry, go ahead.
So I was just going to say that. So if the morning is the seed, so you're creating the seed for the day. So you're creating the apple seed, and so within the apple seed has the apple tree of all the leaves and the apples and the height and all the stuff's inside the apple seed already. It just needs water and some environment. And so if we're creating the seed from when we first get up in that first vital bit of time, that makes perfect sense.
Yeah, I don't think we create it in the morning, Troy. I know that we talk about creating your day and setting up your morning right. And I myself have done that a lot. I'm starting to think these days, now that I'm seeing everything as programming and ones and zeros and stuff, that we actually set up our next day the day before. Reason I'm starting to think that is because if you're existing in a program in this day, when you go to bed, it's like a reboot.
Yeah.
Right. So when you put a new operating system in your computer, what do? You have to turn it off, turn it back on, and the new operating system or the new software can upload. Right.
Yeah.
And I'm starting to think, well, maybe we're a little bit like that. And maybe the most important part of the day is actually the evening, because we can set up our day for tomorrow, turn off. Right. And then reboot in the morning. Just something I'm playing with.
Well, that's not
just something I'm playing with.
Yeah, that's been around for a long time, about setting it up, do it the night before.
Mm-hmm.
And I tell you who, Andy, you probably don't know him, Andy Frisella, that does the 75 hard, that guy. Mm-hmm. Yeah, anyway, but he because he talks about he doesn't talk about it a lot, but every now and then he does. And he has no qualms about it, about talking about the law of attraction. And that's what he does at night.
You set up your next day at night.
He goes before he goes to bed. Well, this is how how he got to where he was. He said, when I went before I go to bed, I just lay there and I'd picture myself pulling up in the Rolls Royce or Lamborghini. Well, I think the Lamborghini. I think it was. He had a Lamborghini. Anyway, picture him rocking up the Lamborghini. Then he'd walk over to the plane, his private plane, and then he'd walk up the stairs. He'd feel the rail, and he'd walk up and he'd feel all the thing and how good. And the bloke would say, hey, Mr. Frisella, and then walk in the plane, and then he'd sit in the seat, and then he'd look out the window at his car, Lamborghini. And this before he was still living. He started off with his first supplement store. He was only borrowed an old mattress or something, staying in the store, and now he's worth hundreds of millions. But he said that's what he did every day, and then he still does that. He calls it window shopping. I heard him saying it the other week, where he on the internet he goes and has a look at. He's looking at whatever his yachts or planes or cars. He's right into cars, probably cars, and so he does that to keep his mind open to bring things into his existence.
Well, that's interesting. So then he's doing two things if he's doing it at night. The first one is what I just said about imprinting at night so that it can be reprogrammed when we're asleep, right? Reboot in the morning. But also knowing when you do it at night that you're going off into the alpha state, which is the programmable state.
Yeah.
Right? When you do it in the morning, you're up, you're in beta, right? Your mind is active, your mind is working. We're not programmable when we're in beta, right? We've got to lower our brain waves. We haven't talked, you've done the whole brainwave thing, of course.
Yeah.
But for the people, so.
Now you explain it.
Yeah. So of the, just briefly do the brainwave thing, and maybe other people know, but there's four recognized brainwaves, which is alpha, beta, theta, and delta. Alpha being only alpha because it was the first one they discovered. But in alpha, that's the programmable state. That's where a child is 0 to 7, and their brains aren't fully functioned. And so that's why they just mimic, because they can't think. And that's why the expression, show me a child till he's 7 and I'll show you the man, right? And that we get into that state in and out of sleep. We also get into that state when we're watching TV, right? And we're in that state when we're on automatic and we don't remember those times when we're driving down the road and suddenly we are home and we don't remember how we got there. That would be the alpha state as well, right? Beta is what we're talking in now. Delta is when you're sleeping, and theta is actually another programmable state, but it's actually where you can do the healing, and that's where you do a lot of your healing, right, Troy? Was when we get into theta. Yeah. Because it's a slower frequency of the brain, so everything's getting processed differently. Anyway, so that's just when we're just for your audience. That's what, and all the people watching. That's what we're talking about with brainwave state. Yeah. So when he's doing that, he's going into alpha, which is the programmable state, putting all the things that he wants in that programmable state, imprinting it at night, shutting down the operating system, and rebooting it in the morning. It makes perfect sense.
Yeah. But he said that's what he did for years. Yeah. And now he goes, now I drive the Lamborghini to the plane, and now I hop on the plane. He hasn't got his own private jet. He hires, I don't think he has. I think he hires the jets, private jets. But he
flies, easier when you have that kind of money.
He flies private jets, and he goes, now I live exactly how I planned it.
Yeah. Yeah, I get it. I totally get it. And what as a culture, what do we do at night before we go to sleep? We usually get into a food coma, have a couple drinks, right? We're programming.
And you're thinking about already your problems for tomorrow.
Exactly. Thus creating them already and not being in the moment and imprinting that tomorrow is going to be the same as today. So, just lastly on that too, with the ones and zeros thing, the breaking pattern. If in fact we are ones and zeros, I just call it ones and zeros.
Yeah, I say the same thing too.
Yeah.
But whether
it doesn't really matter what we're calling what I call it. It's just how people make sense of it in their own world, right? I don't like to use the language, the day-to-day language, because there's so many other connotations to it that could be collapsed with it for people. But if you brush your teeth differently or go left instead of right, that's actually shifting the ones and zeros around. Boom, the program's changed. Right?
Yeah.
It's that simple. Right? Move the one over here, move the zero down the way, more ones here, more zeros there, and boom, you're somewhere else and you don't even know where you are. Right?
But this is and And I know how it all works, like I know how the system works, but I'm just thinking for my own self that I'm not actually applying it every night properly.
Oh, no, I know, right? Imagine if we were.
Yeah.
Like
So,
I'm getting pretty good at manifesting. Like my life is pretty chill and pretty amazing right now. But I'm like, wow, if I was actually taking it to that level,
yeah,
I'm
we
going to do
should,
that.
we need to
Yeah.
start practicing it properly. So if we,
You do a 30-day
let's help the
challenge.
listener, let's help anyone that is listening, those 5 people that are listening. Did you know,
Everything's
Pia, we're over 600 now? We're over 600 downloads. So that's pretty good. We need
yeah,
more. If you can help us spread this word around, the rebellion, the health rebellion, and let us get up to over 1,000 downloads. Oh man, that's going to be something.
yeah. I love
But
the word health
pardon?
revolution, health rebellion, health. Like it's just yeah, breaking pattern, breaking the mold. Let's do it. I'm
Yeah,
in.
yeah. Let's rebel. Um, Now, Pia, let's nail this right down for the audience. So
Yes.
at night, right?
Yep.
Now, should we do it while we're just laying there in? We should really do it while we're laying in bed, just in our own thought, well, before we go to sleep. Probably 10 minutes before we go to sleep.
Well, if you want to unpack, if you want to unpack this, like I haven't thought about this like to this extent. I've never unpacked it. It's just like this notion that I'm playing with, right? I feel like I've
Mm.
got this book on my shoulder, but it's not. It's actually something behind me. I feel like I've got this hunchback.
Who's that strange man you've got in the back there?
I know, right? Um,
Give me a little massage.
so, so if we wanted to unpack this, and it would be kind of fun for people because, as you know, I'm starting to get back into trauma work and doing breath work, right, and
Yeah,
doing life force energy and bringing breath back into unblocking the energy with that, which I'm pretty excited about. But if you wanted to unpack something like this and do like some sort of challenge for people for the 5 people that are watching and maybe some of their friends, um, like how
but
many
yeah,
days?
that well, I'm not. You're not meant to say that. That's me. You're meant to say 10 friends at least.
This by the time, but you know what? This time next year, there's going to be like millions of people watching us.
Yeah, yeah. All those
Um,
millions that are listening to us.
um,
Anyway, but at
but
least those 5 people are going to. We're going to give them something right now.
we could like do a challenge. We could do like people used to do 21-day things or 7 days things or 30 days
I
things,
do a
and I
21-day mind reboot.
right like but even 7 days, like okay, or even 5 and 2, like
Yeah.
whatever you.
Well, we've got our very first challenge tomorrow. Starts tomorrow within the Become Limitless community.
What's
So
that?
I might put that in there.
And just and then we can unpack what it would look like because I think writing it down.
Yeah, I'm writing right now as we speak.
Yeah, but I mean, like writing down, like you said, he would go on the internet and look at pictures and stuff, and that's the
Yeah.
vision board notion. Um, I personally like long form handwriting because it actually comes from within instead of being projected to it through a screen. I find that more personal, but everybody can do.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's if you like writing.
Um, yeah, well, you do you, right? But just having something before you lie down, take it to bed, imprint it, and set an intention, right? For the next day to be different than today, however that looks. And then the first thing you do in the morning, or the first handful of things you do in the morning, are just breaking pattern.
Okay, so let's get this thing nailed down at the start. So we're in bed before we go to sleep. So the
Or
last thing on your mind's not getting annoyed because you got the alarm set and you have to get up and go to work tomorrow. Let's not think of that.
think of like set up your tomorrow. Let's start with small things. We don't have to go straight to the jet. Um, like, and I call it front loading. Like when you're going to see somebody and you set your intention for every meeting, right? But you can do it the night before. Like tomorrow, my day is going to be, smooth, and I'm going to meet the right people to get the right opportunities to get me, whatever it is for people, right? Like, and set it up present tense because we know that time is a construct. Present tense. So tomorrow is not tomorrow's going to be. Tomorrow is because today is tomorrow anyway. And program that in at night. And then because everything has to be followed with an action, it's like, what action are you going to take in the morning to reboot with the new operating system in place?
This is fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think this is So, and we can start by put something, make it different so that it has to be different for when you wake up. So because I normally have a glass of water right next
Well,
to
you
the,
don't have to do everything. Like you still want your glass of water if you're going to just have your
no,
glass
no,
of
but
water.
I could move it.
Yeah.
I
But
could,
like if you're a couple, you could sleep in the left side and the right side and you switch it up. Like it'll be freaking uncomfortable.
oh, no, I don't know about that. That's too far, Peter, too far.
Change at once.
Danger, Will Robinson. Yeah, that would, because you know what, when Kerry and talking about sleeping, when Kerry and I, if we go away anywhere, we still sleep on the same side, she sleeps on the left and I sleep on the right. It
Mhm.
doesn't matter wherever we go, we do that.
Yeah, it's
And
habit.
yeah. And
And the
she's,
whole thing is to be less and less a creature of habit and be
yeah,
conscious of everything you do. So if you go to bed and you say, well, I want to sleep on this side, and I know it's the side I always sleep on, but I want to sleep on this one, that's fine. Just recognizing that it's a conscious decision instead of an unconscious one.
yeah, break pattern.
Great pattern.
And what about setting the intention though in the morning? So I'm a big thing on that too. Let's set the intention for the day.
Yeah,
First thing,
100%.
give thanks for this great day ahead. That's what you
But
probably need to say, would it be?
yeah, I like thanks instead of gratitude, 100%. Um, and also, um, if you wake up and you know that you've got a different operating system and you just have to turn it on. So you're setting an intention from a different place, right? Because you've already set it up. You've laid the groundwork.
Oh yeah.
You've planted that apple seed, you fertilized it at night, right? You've done everything else, right? You put it to
Yeah.
bed. And your intention is going to be that much more powerful because you've already done the groundwork,
Yeah.
right? And then
And I'm the king of manifestations and I'm not even doing all that properly.
I don't
I've got to ramp it up.
I do think I don't think negative things. I'm fortunate though because I don't have to wake up to alarm, right? And my days are pretty cruisy.
Yeah.
I'm very fortunate to be finally have gotten to a place where I do create every day, but because of that too, I go to bed with happy thoughts on my mind, right? I go to
Yeah.
bed, oh yeah, I'm really looking forward to tomorrow, and where am I going to go walking, and this kind of thing, and what time am I going to go to the gym, and so I'm blessed that way. But I think that even without going to the extent of setting up your day, just shifting into a positive mindset right before you go to sleep. And even if you give thanks before you go to sleep, thanks for something that happened today,
Oh yeah.
ignoring that tomorrow, but anything that's going to put you in a different place, just break pattern. Yeah.
I've written all this stuff down so that I can.
Formulate it into your courses. And
Yeah, because we're going to tomorrow. We're starting our very first one.
I
The
love how you
very
keep talking over that royalty check thing.
yeah. So our very first challenge starts tomorrow.
That's very exciting.
Mm, yeah. Are you going to challenge? Are you going to come on and challenge yourself
What are you doing? Where do I need to be? What's happening?
at
I'll
the
rock
big?
up.
Yeah, but that big, Pia, the Become Limitless community. Why
I
in it?
know, but I've been away. I just got back.
We'll get into it. We're trying to get the other 5 people in there.
You'll have more than 5 people there,
Nah,
Troy.
no, yeah. But no, this is good
What's
so
the
that
challenge?
because
So that,
we're trying to. I like to give value. This is the whole thing. If we can give value to the listeners to improve, because we're all about improving life. That's the thing. We're all
yeah.
about how can we get life to become better?
Mhm.
A little.
And self-responsibility, right? Like what can I do
Yeah,
now that's going to make my life better? Like what can I do today? And this is how it actually came up. I'm like, what can I do today that will make my tomorrow better?
yeah,
Right. And I think you touch on that on some of your videos, right?
yeah. I say it all the time because it's
Yeah.
a loop.
Yeah.
It's Groundhog Day. You know the movie Groundhog Day. That's what
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
movie is like nearly all movies are based off half realities. And that movie is so close to reality, it's not funny.
Yeah. Well, that's what I was saying before. I think I said it on your show, maybe not, but it was just spend a week rewatching some of those old documentaries that you love and the old movies you want to watch, like Inception and Matrix and stuff, and start watching everything, all movies, what do they call them? Blockbuster movies. Here we
Yeah,
go.
blockbuster. Yeah.
As documentaries and all documentaries as fiction. And the whole world changes.
Yeah. That Insurgents, is that Insurgents you were talking about, that movie?
Inception.
Inception.
Inception, Leonardo DiCaprio.
Oh,
Insurgent,
yeah,
there's
yeah.
another one. I watched that one though.
But Insurgents, there's a three parts to it. Oh, that's God, there's so many things in that is movies that are um but they're all the same, like all the Marvel movies.
Yeah.
One of the Marvel movies, the time Doctor Strange, he's the time guy.
I don't like Marvel movies. I never have.
Yeah, but he's one of the parts there is he's actually on this like disc thing, and it's the flower of life. They've got the flower of life symbol. Yeah. And he's on the symbol and it's all moving around. I went, no way. Yeah, that Marvel, that's got so many things in that thing. It's like Star Wars, The Matrix, all those movies that they've got a lot of half truths in there.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
Yeah, so we've got go to before 10 minutes before you're laying in bed 10 minutes before you go to sleep. Even doesn't matter if you go to sleep.
Yep.
Give thanks for your day before you do anything, because you might fall asleep while you're getting into the theta brainwave, mate.
Give thanks for the things you don't even have yet and you want.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thanks for my private jet. Love it. Right. I don't want a
Yeah.
private jet. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
the notion too, and I think that like you've got to remember, if you can manifest a penny, you can manifest, $1 million, right? But sometimes we need evidence to see where our manifestation and stuff is going. So
Yeah, because you can't manifest more than you are. That's the thing. That's the other bit that people don't realize.
But you can't manifest more than your mind is prepared to.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Will go,
Yeah,
right?
you can do a little bit more, but not a ton more.
Yeah, so manifest something like, and then as you get used to the process working, and as you get more empowered, and as you get, all this stuff, and
Yeah, and then
you,
start heading in that direction.
Mhm.
Oh, so 10 minutes before you go to sleep. And what about breathing it in? Could be a good one too. Breathe it in, and then follow it down into your solar plex area.
Yeah, breathe it in, become it, feel it as
Yeah.
energy, and then release everything that's not it.
And you'll go to sleep pretty quick, because I do that when if I can't sleep, I just follow the breath. Follow
Yeah,
the breath, follow it in, follow it out, follow it in. You think this might work, and next minute you're asleep.
yeah, yeah. I'm
So
gonna have to start
breathe it
stepping up
in.
my game, Troy, after this conversation.
What's that?
I'm gonna have to start stepping it up.
Yeah, yeah. Me too. So
Um,
when we have our next
how did we get
conversation,
onto this? Weren't we going to talk about? Anyway, it doesn't matter. Good.
so yeah, right. So we're just when you go to bed, give thanks for the day. Thanks for all the things that you're going to get tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
And then visualizing as you're breathing the day tomorrow, how good it's going to be.
And intentions for how you want certain things to go. If you got an important meeting with your boss, or you got
Yeah,
a day,
set your intentions up
your intention for all
and
those
breathe
things.
it in.
Yeah, and breathe it in.
Yeah,
And
and follow
do
your
something
breath.
different in the next day.
And then in the morning when you get up,
Follow it up with that breaking pattern action.
yeah, in the morning when you get up, very first thing, set your intention for the day. No, give thanks for the day that you're going to have.
You've got a lot of steps to this. Keep it simple.
That is simple. It's like 4 things.
Okay.
You can't get simpler than that.
Like, I go to bed, be happy. I get up in the morning, I'm like, I'm gonna be happy. I'm going out.
Yeah. No, but because we're talking about expert manifestors here.
Right.
We're talking about people that want to ramp up their life dramatically.
Yeah.
So you can have and then you can just go from there downward, not downwards. That's the wrong wording. So then you can, if we go, this is the Formula One, and then you can say whatever. If you don't, you can just walk.
Yeah, you're still in the race.
So you just pick your thing. So I'm just saying this is to get them form. This is the Formula One.
As long as you're in the game, man.
Yeah.
How fast you go, as long as you're in the game.
Yeah. So and then break pattern.
Yeah.
Right, so I've written all that in. So that'll all be, if anyone wants to come over to the Become Limitless community, I'm going to have this as part of the challenge. I'll have it all written out. So whoever wants to learn it, totally free, can get over there and learn it. And we're going to practice it. All right. That's some really good. That's see now even I might even get something out of this.
Of course, try. But we could do intro, you and I, because we're going to be talking next time this week. We could just say, okay, we're going to do this. I'll start it tonight. We'll do it for the next 7 days.
Yeah.
We'll do it. We can talk about our experience next week
Yeah, right, yeah.
if you want to. If you don't
That's
want to, we could talk about anything because that seems to be what we do anyway.
You know what, Pia? I've stopped staying at the start what we're going to talk about because it's pointless. Because I don't think I've said one time out of these. This is I think 17 podcasts deep, and I don't think I've said once, and we've actually talked about what I meant to.
As long as it stays interesting and fun, then it's good.
No, but this is really good. And so, if anyone is going to try it, this P is 7 day challenge. We're going to call it.
Wow.
Yeah. So
Crazy.
P is 7 day challenge, and I'll put that in the on the side as well. P is 7 day challenge. And this is what we're going to challenge people, and we'll let this. And it'll be interesting to see if you manifest anything in that's different.
And you guys
Yeah,
watching, you got to comment in because we want to know how it goes.
yeah. We want to know how it goes. So
Totally.
yeah,
Yeah.
that'd be unreal. And you know the
Yeah.
other thing that we got on the Become Limitless community is post your wins.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Because you have to get your little wins. You know, that's how you get better. You just keep going, wow, got that, got that, got that. And before you know it, you're on top of the hill.
Yeah. And you have to, those little wins are important because that's the evidence, right?
Yeah.
Because like things get shifted energetically before they get shifted physically, right? So you set your intention and then it takes a while for the matter and for the body and everything to catch up. But the time frames are getting shorter and shorter, but it just takes a little minute. So if you set your intention, then you're not seeing it happen. Then you go, oh, it's not going to happen, and you change your mind and you sabotage yourself. But if you keep writing down those little wins or acknowledging the little wins or being thankful for those little wins, then it's evidence that there is change and there is movement and something is happening.
Yeah. And this is what as part of the 21 day reboot thing, we do the journaling. And so at the end of the day, you write down anything that's you've manifested into your life. So then tomorrow you'll be, because say you write it down, say even if it's a car spot, right? You've manifested the car spot. Yep, got the car spot. You write that down. So I manifested the car spot. So the next day, which is still today, like all day you're thinking about looking for what you're manifesting to write down.
So you're
Yes.
looking for
So you're
miracles.
looking for a manifesting. You're looking
Mhm.
for it. Yeah.
As long as you can stay in the energy of possibility instead of being in that energy of where is it? How come it's not here?
Yeah. Yeah. And you don't know where it's going to come from. This is the whole thing. You don't even know the people you're going to meet, the circumstances that are going to happen, like all those things. You don't know that. You don't worry about it though. You don't even worry.
Yeah. And I think even like I often don't do specific things, I'll be honest, like manifesting specific things. I just manifest amazing. Right.
Hmm.
Like, today's amazing, tomorrow's gonna be amazing. Thanks for life being amazing.
Yeah.
Where's the more amazing people that I can meet? What amazing places am I going to go to? And like I leave it that general because it's just playful for me.
Yeah.
Right. And I think that, my co-creator, the constructor, the universe, or whatever it is, knows me sometimes better than I know myself because of my own programming, right? Because
Yeah.
of my own limitations, because we have them, right? And so if I just talk about it be amazing, then I'm going to get something usually better than I could have even done myself, right?
Yeah.
Like that's how I found this apartment. That's how I'm living where I'm living right now. Like it was just like, I didn't know where I was going to go. I was just open. I'm like, send me somewhere amazing. I just know I don't want to be inner city anymore.
Yeah.
Right? And
And yeah, but for people that are have families and children and like not saying you haven't got responsibilities, but burdens. so we've got to think of the people that are just starting on their journey as well, you know.
But that's why I'm saying that, Troy, is because if you say, okay, like I'm going to have a new car, and if a new car doesn't come, that evidence isn't there. But if you say I'm going
Yeah.
to have an amazing day and I'm going to enjoy the car that I have,
Yeah.
right, and be thankful for the car because it's getting me to where I need to be, to these fabulous places that I need to go, even though I don't really know that I need to be there and go there, then there's no, hey, where's my new car? Then there's like, wow, I got a great car. It's taking me where I want to go. And just in the love of the car, the better car can rock up.
Yeah. But see, when I don't put a time frame on things. I say as quick as possible or as soon as possible.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't say by a certain date. This is where a lot of things get, because the universe will wait till the last day.
Or as beneficial to all.
Yeah. Yeah.
Speaking of families and stuff, if you do have families and business and stuff, like you wanted to do that conscious creation of specific items, then it's like in a time frame and a manner that is beneficial to all. Because that I was told a story once, that's kind of relevant, I guess, a little bit now, when I first started on active manifestation stuff. And someone decided that she wanted $1 million, and everybody's like, you can't just go out and manifest $1 million because you got to have the belief systems, like start with a couple thousand, right? She's like,
Yeah.
nope, straight to $1 million. Right. 2 weeks later, somebody in her family died and she inherited $1 million.
Yeah.
Right. So how the causality of that, I don't want to discuss. The philosophy of it, I don't want to discuss, but it did spark this kind of where it's beneficial to all.
Yeah.
Right. So
I think that's a yeah, I think that is a good thing to. I've written that down too. I'll put that in it.
taking a lot of notes there, Troy.
Yeah, I have been. I have been. You know what? Because I don't normally do notes, and then I get to the end of the podcast, I go, oh wow, what do we talk about again? And then I have to go listen to it again, and you know. So I thought if I write the notes down and be a bit proactive, that way I can speed my unless I can use AI to go through and get all the notes for me.
Good.
I could.
GBT, scary system that it is.
Pardon?
The deep state plant.
Yeah, yeah. It's yeah,
It's
that's
very
another.
biased, chat GBT.
Hmm?
Very biased.
Yeah,
Mm.
yeah. We don't want to get on that topic because
We're running out of time.
that's a huge topic. Yeah, and we are running out of time.
So many big topics. So many big
Yeah, it's
topics. But no,
huge.
it's been good. I didn't know we were going to get onto manifestation, and there we did. And we have a
Yeah,
whole new homework.
yeah. I'm looking
Apparently, I've
forward to
just
the
committed
7 day
to
thing.
7 days.
And then what I might do, I'll yeah, because you know how I do my little live each morning.
Yeah,
So I'm
yeah.
trying to get people up in the day, because the end of the year will be here, and then we won't have got healthy and both in mind and body
Mm-hmm.
if we don't start being proactive. So I might put this out there and then to see if anyone is wants to follow Peter's 7 day challenge and see what happens. You never know.
Got to be easy. It's got to be something that people that everybody. It's got to be playful. If it's playful. It's playful. People will do it as playful.
Yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
Well, why wouldn't you want to manifest better health and wealth into your life? You know, Oh,
Yeah,
in saying that, some people just don't. Like it is amazing to me that there are a lot of people that actually like being sick.
there are.
Yeah,
They
it's
get a lot. They get a lot out of it.
pardon.
They get a lot out of it.
Yeah,
Right on.
yeah, yeah.
One thing I like about this challenge, I'll just say this because I was just thinking because I don't like to do or say anything that's going to give people a reason to be down if it doesn't work. But one thing about this that I think is really cool is because if you go back to that notion of breaking pattern and you go back to that notion that we're setting up tomorrow, today, right? Tonight. It doesn't matter if you miss a night, you're not going to go backwards.
Yeah,
Right. So if we say it's a 7 day challenge and we want everybody to do it for 7 days, and I'm gonna see what I can do about that. Then if you only do it for 5 of those 7 days, it's so what? Because you're
mm,
not going backwards. You're not missing out on anything. You just didn't set up that particular day. You just do it,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
But I think that the more you do it, it's accumulative. This is what I'm experiencing. Like it gets
Well, it's a muscle. you know?
Right. And it gets more and more expansive. So the more you do it, even if you skip a day here and you skip a day there, the more that you're doing it, it just keeps getting better and better and better. And then it becomes part of your automation.
Yeah. Well, that's
Right.
right, because we're on 80% automatic.
Mm-hmm.
And so if part of that 80% is the manifestation part, well, that's manifesting in, it's like having your own AI, isn't it? You're creating your own new operating system each day, upgrading your operating system.
Yeah, and if you don't turn it on and use it one day, so what? Just use it the next, right?
Yeah. Don't
Oops,
be
I
down
didn't
on
do it
yourself.
last night. Move on, forget about it.
Yeah.
It's
I
done.
blew it.
But I know that there's people out there, and I'm not one of them, but I do know they exist because I have some friends this way, where it's just like, if I'm going to do the 7-day challenge, I'm going to do it every day, and if I don't do it, then there's fail, and it's not. There is no failure. There's just playing with that.
Yeah, and that and it's funny talking about failure, right? From school, how you get an X next to when you get something wrong. Yeah, and what's an X do when you look at it? Turns your brain on.
That's right.
That's right.
That's right. I knew. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. So every time you get a failure at school, you get the X next to it. And when you get it back, it's got an X. That turns the brain on.
Lights. Wow.
Yep. How bad's that?
Bad.
So it's programming in failure from all through school.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, every time you get a failure.
Indoctrination system that is education, that I call education.
Yeah. That's pretty bad. And they're because two lines together, like two vertical lines, turn your brain off. And so that's why you don't, if you talking to someone like a crowd and they've got a striped shirt, you don't look at the striped shirt because it turned your brain off. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So two straight lines turn it off, and an X turns it on.
I knew about the X. I don't think I knew about the straight lines.
Yeah. Yeah. The straight lines, two parallel lines together going down, and you can check it. I tell you how you check it for your muscle testing.
Yeah. No, I get it. So like if you get up in the morning, right, and you have an X, like you walk out of your bedroom into the bathroom, there's an X on your bathroom, brain goes pop, and then you get into bed and you look at two lines and you
not off. Yeah. I wonder if I might try that.
Let's try wallpaper in your bedroom, see what happens. But then you won't get up because there'll be no X.
Yeah.
Is it so it can just be random, or does it need to be like, because I know it's part of Psych K and stuff, but is it just literally looking at it? Like it can be that simple.
Yeah. Try it out.
I will.
Yeah. Try it. If anyone uses the pendulum for the yes, no thing or any sort of muscle testing, look at an X and you'll get, it'll turn your muscle on. And then look at the two parallel lines and it'll turn your muscle off. Yeah.
Well, there you go.
Actually, I've got it here. I've got out of this book here. Look. Switch on your brain. Switch on your brain. A guide to better reading and concentration. Yeah. And there's they've got a whole thingy in here about, look, they have a thing in here about the muscle testing, with your arm. So bring the arm up and down.
You can see it.
Yeah.
There's a lot of brain stuff now. I don't know why, but stuff.
Oh, here it is. There it is. There, look.
Wow.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, that's how I learned. I got it from this little book. I went, oh, wow.
There's a lot of stuff coming out about brain health and stuff and exercises to turn your brain back on. Because like even, like I think that Alzheimer's and dementia and stuff, I like when I look at that, that's a product of heavy metal toxicity, I think. Right. Because I've had all my heavy metals done and ventilation and all those age symptoms. And I could totally be wrong. Like I could be making stuff up, but my experience is that all those symptoms when the age is going is heavy metal toxicity. And so you do those heavy metal detoxes and then it happens. But I don't know why I'm bringing this up, but there's so much stuff now about turning your brain on and keeping your brain active, right? Yeah. The left brain stuff and that kind of thing. But there's also that physical health aspect of not having heavy metals floating through your brain like fluoride and stuff.
Yeah, well, it all matters, but that's what we're all about. We're all about the mind, and the part of the mind is the brain, which that's the computer. So we need to make sure that's right.
Mhm.
All right then, Peter, that's where geez, how fast does an hour go when you're having fun? Well, I think that today's podcast has been very beneficial for me.
Yeah, no, it's good. Well, me too, because I haven't
And
unpacked
I'm
all
going to
that.
look forward to this 7 day challenge. And I'm
Yeah.
going to put that up on the Become Limitless community. So if you want to, anyone wants to join that for free, it's at the freedomnetwork.io and there's a link from there. I've just registered the new site, the Health Rebellion.
It's
Um,
a health rebellion, isn't it? Or
the
is it?
Global Health Rebellion, sorry, the Global Health Rebellion. I tried to do the Health Rebellion there, it was taken. But it's a global thing anyway. So the globalhealthrebellion.com is going to be the new site because we're rebelling against the global sick
Well,
care system.
I like the global in there better than just the health rebellion.
Yeah, yeah, me too.
There's the double meaning of global, right? There's the global there, it's the whole world, but there's also global in terms of all aspects of life, health in all aspects,
Yeah,
financial health, physical health, mental health, emotional health,
yeah,
and that could be determined as global. So it's kind of cool.
yeah. So it's a new beginning. And even look at my hair. I haven't got a haircut for it.
Amazing.
A new haircut, a new name.
It's a new
Yeah.
day.
And we've got a
And
7 day challenge. Oh God, all these things have just happened in this
and are you
last
feeling
hour of
thankful?
podcast.
Are
Hey?
you feeling thankful?
Oh, I am. I'm always thankful.
I know you are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then uh, what else was it? What else did we have to? Oh, so if you are listening to this podcast and you haven't turned off yet, if you're still here, if you could share it around, please, and uh, you know, if you know anyone that would be interested in learning things like P 7 day challenge,
I don't know if I want my
and
name on your 7 day
because
challenge.
we're trying to raise the vibration of humanity, and we can't do it alone. We can only do it with you and I sharing this information around. And the more people that we can get to realize this incredible power that you already have, like everybody already has it. All we have to do is open up the door and let it out, and let this power off the chain, and it's going to blow your socks off.
How amazing would living in that world be?
Oh, it just feels like it will be so amazing. I can tell you what it'd be like. It'd be like when I was at the retreat yesterday, not yesterday, Saturday, because I only went for an hour and a half or so to the ladies retreat that Kerry and Lisa did. But all them ladies were just like on mental ice, you know? They were just like all just floating like fairies around. They're just going, I'm thinking, what am I doing here? You know, like it was a waste of time nearly because that's what it'd be like. Imagine a whole world like that. Like in
Just
a,
everybody just expressing their gifts and the joy of being alive, and you know,
yeah.
yeah, it would be amazing. Let's do
Oh,
that.
yeah. It'll be that good.
It,
It already is that good. We just
it is
got to,
that good.
yeah,
It
we
is
just got to,
amazing.
yeah, 1 million people in 2023. That's the goal. So that's if we can only do that if we all share the show. So and join the Become Limitless community and let's do the challenges and let's start building. Let's get in the best shape of our life by the end of this year. Thanks very much for listening, and we'll see you in the next podcast.
Bye, everybody.